From permanent makeup training to establishing your practice, let's navigate through the steps that make you a successful permanent makeup artist and establish a great PMU practice. Hi, I'm Shareen Adair, a scientist turned permanent makeup artist for the last 18 years, have created several successful businesses, and for the last 10 years, I'm focused on teaching business and PMU skills to artists all around the world. I had to push restart twice with the economy and then the second time with the pandemic. Each time, I only knew better how to start. So if you are an ambitious PMU artist or one in making, I'm here to give you a step-by-step actionable items so you navigate through most common challenges that I've learned through my almost 2 decades of experience. To start any career, education is your basis of success. I'm a big proponent of education, and I think education, the more, the better. But let's dive into what education system is followed in permanent makeup world. But before I get into that, let me be very clear about a few things here. Except in a couple of states, there's no set laws on education system or governing authority that oversees PMU education. There is no laws or governing authorities that oversee PMU education in the United States, with an exception of two. It may change over time, but at the moment, this is still a new industry with a very low entry barrier and a high influx of artists every day. I had a very valuable lesson, and I would love to share that on this podcast. My first training in 2006. Yes, that was my first training in 2006, a 3-day class that I paid $3,500 to learn lips, brows, and eyeliner as my fundamental class. Some of the key takeaways for me were that it didn't offer me any fundamentals like skin, color theory, needle theory, post-cure medical concerns. I was handed a kit, then showed how to set up my machine and work on latex the first day. The next day, we saw some models. I practiced on a couple of models with my instructor, and then there you go. I was done. I was a graduate. And as soon as I was done with the 3-day class and left, I felt more confused than I began with. I almost gave up. And for a whole year, I felt like a total loser. I felt like one decision just completely failed me. There were a lot of mixed emotions. Guys, I was like failure. I felt deceit. I felt like I was not capable. I felt lost. And here I am. I was a graduate in clinical science from San Francisco State, and I didn't even feel lost when I was working at UCSF doing cancer research, but I was feeling lost after this class. But knowing myself, I didn't give up. I tried to jot down all those reasons and all those feelings that I had and figure out a way to get back into this industry because I really wanted to be a permanent makeup artist. A year later, I went back at it again and I found a course that gave me more time because I figured if I had more time, I would probably be a better learner. I'd grasp things more. I would focus more. So I attended a course that was a 3-month program. It was in San Jose, conducted by Marjorie Grimm, who had a school called Faces by Design. The 3-month course gave me a good basics, grip on things that I did not get from the first class. Over the years, I've taken hundreds of more classes, some 1-day seminars, some 2-day classes, but I know that education from that point onwards is all going to be about me putting myself through it. So I attended seminars, I still go to conferences, I still take classes, I still practice at once or twice a week on my latex. But my point here is that if this is your first class, it's either you make it or you break it experience. So choose wisely, my friend. You will find several classes around you that offer permanent makeup education. Just go Google in your area. You'll have tons of people pop up. Because this is a very low barrier entry point in most states, this is why there's so many classes that are based on 1 or 2 days and are handed to students and they pay a lot of money and they go in and they get the class and they come back feeling more lost and more confused. Before you decide which training is the best to get you where you want to be, some of these questions you would need to get answers for. But because this is a very low barrier entry point in most states, and because this education is not governed or overseen by any authorities, there are a ton of classes available out there. And I'm going to list down these questions. Number 1, is the training at least 100 hours? It is an industry standard to have 100 hours of education. It's an insurance requirement as well that no one tells you. So very important to have that initially. Does it offer fundamentals, meaning the groundwork on which a career can be built? You need fundamentals to build a career and knows whys and hows in the long term. Does it offer hands-on live models, plural models, not just a model? You're not just watching a model, it's hands-on models and a minimum of 3. There is only one way to know human skin is to feel it, touch it, and work on it. Does the trainer guide you through licensing? I find it a requirement because that is the final goal to start a business. Does it offer bloodborne pathogen safety practice, hands-on, not just a certificate, but hands-on practice? Again, a necessity for your own safety and health. Is the trainer experienced enough? I would say minimum 3 years in business with full books. That tells you not only experience but longevity of experience of an artist. Can a trainer guide you through difficult skin types and troubleshoot it if needed? Is there a training contract? Does the contract outline terms on how the training will be conducted? That will be the only document that you need to hold your trainer accountable for in case your experience is otherwise. Then, is there color theory taught? Is there pigment theory taught? Is there machine theory taught? Is the needle theory taught? Does the trainer cover skin conditions? Will there be medical conditions and contraindications discussed? Will there be a kit provided? And what is in the kit? Break down the items. Ask for which machine is provided and then Google if that machine is a good make or not. What are your payment options? Is it cash only? Walk away if the trainer asks for cash at the door. You have no recourse if you have unsatisfactory experience. Moreover, here is tax evasion in plain sight. Read reviews and previous student testimonials. Interview trainer to feel comfortable. All these questions will only help you do your due diligence in establishing if the trainer and the training is right for you. All right, now that you found your dream training and you're a certified PMU artist, I am super excited for you. What's next? A certificate alone does not ensure that you can start practicing legally. What do you need? Is the licensing or permitting or both? So let's dive into navigating career opportunities and regulations in PMU business. There are a myriad of career pathways available to aspiring artists, from salon ownership and freelance work to opportunities in medical spas and cosmetic clinic. This is your path and you will need to decide which option is best to start at. However, permanent makeup licensing requirements are necessary. It varies across the United States as each state has its own regulation and governing practice. Permanent makeup in general all over USA is broken down under the jurisdiction of state health department. Yes, it's the health department that is responsible for permitting you. A PMU professional in health code is called a body art practitioner, which then leads to the permitting, which is called the body art practitioner permit. So no, there is no esthetician requirement. There's no requirement for cosmetology. However, I think there is one state that has an esthetician requirement, but they have to work under a doctor. But overall, in general, the practice falls under the health department. So each state varies on how to acquire the license. I have left a link below in the script pertaining to each state and listed the departments that govern this license. Yes, all 52 states. Additionally, some cities and counties may have their own regulations regarding permanent makeup licensing, so it's essential for artists to check their local health department or regulatory agency for guidance. In most states, the location has to be constructed as per OSHA and health regulations as well. Some standards are uniform across the board and mandatory to follow, and some standards may vary. So check your local authority, call them, speak to an inspector, get the ordinance or the law printed, and follow step by step. There are annual inspections that are conducted, and there's proper sharps disposal that's required, which is a pretty standard that is all across the board. Everything you use, buy, must have expiration labels and lot numbers. Each client has to have an intake form or consent form that must be recorded and saved for up to 3 years, which fall under HIPAA compliance. If you're using an autoclave, there are laws that apply for that too and strictly need to be adhered to. To be 100% compliant, best is to download local ordinance, a law that governs body art practice, and follow each step. So entering perma makeup world is super exciting and such rewarding career. It has endless opportunities and there are guidelines, and these guidelines only make your career easy to operate. This was my episode about education and licensing requirements. So keep exploring and experimenting and evolving. But I am going to be back soon with a brand new episode on the PMU podcast. So don't be afraid to let your light shine bright. Join me next time for more adventures, more discoveries, and more moments of pure enchantment. Until then, my friend, stay fierce, keep slaying, my darling. Mwah.